Hello and welcome to the Imagine AI Live podcast. I'm your host for this event, Chêrénique, and we are coming to you from New York City at the first Impact event. I have a guest with me here. Would you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about what you're working on?
Okay, my name's Kely Nascimento. I have a company called The Impact Game, which is sort of like a culmination of years working in sports on the social impact and storytelling side, and seeing sort of the worlds of brands and for-profit and impact and nonprofits come together as more and more fans are demanding social impact from the brands they buy from and the teams they're fans of. And so there's like a little bit of a disconnect in language between all of these sectors, and this is sort of where I navigate, trying to help them find impactful projects that also bring attention and brand sort of awareness to their product and to their team and et cetera.
Amazing. And how did you come into contact with the Imagine AI Live community?
Well, I'm very good friends with Liz Ngonzi, and she knows that I've been trying more and more to incorporate AI into a field that is, I think it's sort of, genesis is in nonprofits, and there's, I think nonprofits are one of those, and sports, to be honest, unless you're talking about real fan engagement and real sort of on major sporting events or on-site, ticketing and stuff like that. I think we're slow sectors to move towards technology. I think there's a lot of, I think for the reasons many sectors are, but I think there's a lot of sort of mistrust and sort of misunderstanding. Yeah. And I'm probably one of those people. So I think I like to be here because I'm like I said before, I like to think that I'm sort of open to, it's all about creativity and storytelling. And I think AI can only help with that. And it doesn't matter what the sector is. So
yeah, absolutely. So how would you like to be able to incorporate AI into the Impact Game?
I'd like to be able to sit with a client and, on top of all of the sort of already creative ways we see impact, social impact, fan engagement, sort of, and branding and storytelling, and getting your story and your ideas and your mission statement out there. I'd like to be able to incorporate and see how actually AI can give us just a much bigger toolbox, right? And allow us to be much more creative for also less money, which people love, right?
Yep.
Which people love.
Yep.
And and I think that's also what I'm seeing in the conversations that I'm hearing. I haven't figured out exactly what and where yet, but that's definitely what it's leaning towards.
Nice. Do you have any concerns or fears about the future of AI and incorporating it more and more into what you're doing?
Honestly, my only fear, a personal fear, is that I don't have time to actually do my job and learn as fast as I need to. Do you know what I mean? I think it's here to stay. I think it's going to go through a phase where, we're going to throw a lot of stuff against the wall in terms of AI, and some will stick, some won't. But I think it's here to stay. I mean, it's like decentralized spaces in crypto. Like, we may not understand it. We may, as a whole, as a vast universe. There are people, of course, who understand it, and we may not know how it fits in our lives, but the smart contract is here to stay. Decentralized spaces are here to stay. Just figuring out how you are going to make use of it so that it doesn't work against you.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side of that, what are your hopes for the implementation of AI?
Again, I think the greatest thing that it can do, and that it already does in many sectors, is make everything more equitable, right? To make sort of reach and impact more equitable, to make education more equitable, to make access to sports more equitable. And I think that's the space that really interests me, foremost, right? And I think that once you start doing that and you start showing people that you can do that with much less of the energy and time that it took to do before, right? I think to me, that will be a game changer.
Yeah. So we're here at the Cornell Tech campus. So we're in a college setting. What advice would you give to students who are going into university and implementing AI and tech into their studies?
I almost feel like they should be giving me advice, because I think whereas we're all going to be playing catch up, they are going to be I have a 13-year-old, so he's really the one who should be giving me advice. But because once you get to university, we're already, But I feel like, I think that I'm hoping that they will seamlessly just have AI, woven into their lives and to the way they see things. I know that may be not true, and I think the advice that I would give is sort of, there's so much fear around academia right now, and it's not necessarily the students. I think it's a lot the sort of the institution. I think that makes it more difficult for them, but I think it's just, don't be afraid.
Yeah, good advice. So building on that, what about those that are already in the workforce and have this constantly changing technology around them? What would you say to that?
Good luck. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what I would say to that. I just, I think that we got some really good advice from Alicia. I think her name was Alicia.
Alicia, yeah.
Which is something that I talk to people all the time about when I'm starting a project or I'm putting together a team, is that I think if you have your core sort of mission, and I like to call it a mission statement or a North Star. She had a much more beautifully synthesized breakdown. But I think that it's knowing what your purpose is, what your values are, right? And then I think that you can let the rest of the world sort of spin around you, but you always keep coming back to your North Star, because there are going to be flashy things, in terms of my consultancy and other people I work with. There's going to be do we take this client? Do we not take this client? Oh, this client is, it's almost like, okay, well, let's see how this client or this new technology or whatever serves our North Star and our core, right? If it doesn't, and we really, really want to work with them, so how do we make it service, right? It doesn't mean that we have to no, but and then at the end of the day, we may just have to say no, or we figured out something cool and new. So I think it's just find your center, and the rest can spin, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, I loved the visual she had of that, the eye of the storm, a tornado. But when you're in the center, it's calm and collected.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's like you have to go back in and be like, why am I here? What am I doing? Wait, quiet the noise.
What do I want to use this for? Where do I want to go?
And do I even need it? Because otherwise it's
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's great that you referenced one of our speakers already this morning. It leads right into the question I wanted to ask you to wrap up for today. If there are people listening that are thinking about attending an Imagine AI live event in the future, what would you say to them?
Oh, I'd say absolutely do it. I think that the thing that Liz actually told me that I absolutely see here is that it can be very intimidating, right? I mean, I don't want to come into an event where, I had to ask a question today. I've never used ChatGPT on my computer. So basically, I asked a question in the middle of a workshop. I went on the App Store, and there's 1 million versions, right, for computer. There's for Mac, for Mac 4, So I'm like, which one do I download? Which seems ridiculously stupid, but I think that's, if you're in a room full of people who are in AI. But I think that's the beauty of Imagine AI Live, is that it really is for people who are. It's for the AI curious also, and the AI adjacent. So yeah, I'd say come and don't be afraid.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for those words. Thank you for your time and sitting down to talk with me today. And I will let you get back to enjoying the event, and I hope you learned so much.
Thank you very much.